Good evening, everyone. Good evening and Happy New Year. I hope that everybody is doing well. I hope that you are all off to a great start to your new year. Welcome to Mind the Mental Monday 2024. I am very excited about the topic that we have tonight. Looking forward to your input. I'm looking forward to your engagement. I need y'all to engage me. I need y'all to talk to me. Okay. So I need y'all to comment, ask questions. I need you to put in the chat topics that you might be interested in for Mind the Mental Monday, something that you want to do a deep dive. I like doing deep dives. So if there's something that you want to kind of dive deep, let me know what is helpful to you. All right. So put in the chat where you are tuning in from. That's something that we try to do every Monday. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And also, if you kind of see me looking up and down, it's because I'm looking at Instagram up here and I'm looking at Facebook down here, and I try to make that eye contact with all of you. Did you breathe today? Did you breathe? Did you take time to just breathe? Sometimes we get so hectic. We get so bogged down in all the things that we are doing and all the things that we're working on and all the things that are just happening in our lives. And sometimes we don't just take time to breathe, or we don't take time to pay attention to our breathing. So take a minute and just calm down from all the stress of the day. Take a nice deep breath in, hold it, breathe out. Just breathe in. Blow out all the toxins of the day. Blow out toxic comments. Blow out toxic behavior. Blow out those things that don't serve you well. Inhale the fresh breath of new perspective. Inhale the fresh breath of self love, determination, growth. Are y'all ready to do the thing in 2024? Are y'all ready for 2024 is here. So I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready to grow. I hope you're ready to take care of your mental health. I hope that you're ready to be intentional about being proactive about your mental health. Tell me if you're ready. Comment, I'm ready. Comment, I'm ready. If you are ready for 2024, if you are ready to make changes that are necessary to grow mentally, if you're ready to grow spiritually, if you are ready to just grow as a person, whether it is in your work or whatever you've been called to do, whatever the case might be, just as a person, if you're just ready to just grow within yourself, and just ready to just do amazing things in 2024. I don't know about you, but I serve a God who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that I could ask or imagine. I can't even imagine what God is about to do in 2024. So if you're excited right along with me, let me know. Just say, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. So, with that, hopefully you're ready to dive into the topic for tonight. We're going to talk about the view from my mirror. And so, the reason that I use the word my is that we got to make this thing personal. We have to personalize and be ready for what we see in the mirror. And so the way that this topic came up is that I was having a meeting the other day with my team. A shout out to my team, Minister Ebony, Joy. I don't know what I would do without the two of them just praying with me, encouraging me, and we encourage each other as a team. And so, as we were having our team meeting to prepare some awesome things for you all in 2024, um, Minister Ebony was telling me about a book that she and one of her friends is reading together. And the name of the book is it's called The Shadow Works Journal: A Guide to Integrate and Transcend Your Shadows. And in it, she talked about an exercise that is in the journal that requires you to look in the mirror for about 5 to 10 minutes. Now, when you're just sitting and looking, let me tell you, 5 to 10 minutes is a long time. 10 minutes is a long time. um, 5 minutes is also long, but it encourages you to just sit in front of the mirror and look at yourself in the eye for 5 to 10 minutes. And as you're looking at yourself in the eye, try not to veer off and look at other things. You know, try not to get distracted from looking at yourself in the eye. And so the purpose of this exercise is for you to wrestle with yourself and allow yourself to surrender those things, that those thoughts about yourself that might hinder you from experiencing peace. Now, when we do activities like that, and I hope that you brought your mirror. I hope you have a mirror with you. I mean, it could be a mirror like I have, which is just a little portable mirror, um, or you could be sitting in front of a mirror, or you could be sitting in front of something that allows you to see your reflection. And while we're not going to do that exercise tonight, it's something that you might want to consider doing for yourself. But I did want you to have a mirror because we are going to do an exercise where we look in our mirror and we kind of write down some things. So I hope that you have a mirror, and I hope that you have some paper and something to write with. All right. Does everybody have that? If you have that, um, just say I have it. I have it. And so hopefully you will, um, have some tools, because I told y'all in the advertisement that we gonna do some work. We're gonna do some work tonight. And if you know anything about making any kind of change, you have to go about it with intentionality, and you have to be willing to put in the work that is required to grow, and to change so that you might grow. All right. All right. So have you ever tried to look at yourself in the eye? I mean, it's hard enough. So, when you're having conversations with people, we are taught to, look a person in the eye when you're speaking with them. Um, and so one of the hardest things can be just that. Looking at the person that you're talking to in the eye. You would think that it would be easy to look at yourself in the eye because after all, it is yourself, right? It's not like it's a new person that you're getting in contact with. It's not like it's something that a person that is your first time meeting or your first time seeing. You see yourself every day. So you would think that that wouldn't be a hard thing to do, to look at yourself in the eye. But that, truth be told, that can be one of the hardest things to do. Why? because there's a saying that says the eyes are the window to your soul. And so when you look somebody in the eyes are the thing that really tells you kind of that whether or not there's something going on with that person. So you might be communicating with somebody who might be all smiles, and but but their eyes aren't smiling. When somebody is in a good space and in a good mood, um, it's hard to fake that. You can put a smile on your face. You can fake a smile, but your eyes don't lie. You're when you look a person in the eye, you're saying to them, "I care about more than what's at the surface level. I care more than about just what you kind of look, how you're looking on the surface. I'm caring deeply for you. I want to look deep. I want to look past that smile. I want to look past the thing that you're trying to show me, and I want to really see you." And very often we might do well in that when it concerns somebody else. But how often have you cared enough for you? How often have you cared enough to look at yourself and care enough for yourself that you want to look yourself in the eye and really face that thing that is hindering your peace, that thing that is causing you to not be in a space where you feel at peace with yourself, where you feel at peace with your life, where you feel at peace with whatever it is that might be going on in your surroundings, whatever is going on deep within inside of yourself. And very often when we look at ourselves, when we examine ourselves, we are we're not just kind of looking in the mirror, because when we look in the mirror, what we see in the mirror is not only based on just our own selves or our own eyes. What we see in ourselves more often than not is based on other people's thoughts of us, based on what other people have said about us, based on what we think others think of us. Not what we know to be true necessarily, but what we think others think of us. Those are the lenses that we tend to look through when we see ourselves. So as members of our team and I were talking, one of the things that Minister Ebony said was that in looking in the mirror, um, often you tend to see what's negative, right? We are our own worst critics. When we look in the mirror, we don't we don't even look to see what's good. The first thing we do is we notice what? Our blemishes. We notice the things that we don't like about ourselves, right? For me, I'm gonna just get very personal. All these little skin tags that I have on my face, this one that I'm hiding on my neck because I think it's gross and it's grossing me out. So I try to cover it up. um, that's the first thing I notice when I look at myself, like that's what I see, right? And so I'm like, get me to a dermatologist quick so I can get all this stuff cut off. Um, and so, so that's a very light example, but we are our own worst critics. And we tend to look at ourselves and we tend to only focus on what we view as flaws. But the truth of the matter is, um, these skin tags are a part of me. They are a part of who I am at this stage in my life. When I was younger in my 20s and 30s, I didn't have these. I didn't have so many of them. And as I age, I feel like I'm getting just more and more and more. They just be coming up out of out of out of nowhere, right? So the truth is, you know, I might see it as a flaw, but it's just a part of who I am. It's just a part of me. And so I remember a videographer one time saying to me, "Well, um, I can enhance the video so that it removes the the moles from your face." And I was offended by it. I said, "No, I don't want you to remove them. They're part of who I am. If somebody sees me in person, they're going to see them. They're just a part of who I am." And so whether I like them or not, that part right now is something that I just have to accept, um, because I just can't get to the dermatologist now. So I just got to accept that that's a part of who I am right now. So it's hard for us to look in the mirror and just and say what is good about us, say what is beautiful about us, right? Why? Because one reason is that we are taught that if we think of ourselves in a positive way, that we're being cocky or that we are not being humble. But I don't know about you, and I don't know who is going to see this. I don't know what your faith background is, but as a Christian, my faith, it tells me that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. My faith tells me, my God tells me that God made me in God's image. So I look like my creator. That's a good thing because I want to believe that my creator is the most beautiful spirit in the world. So if I tell myself that I look like my creator as opposed to the thing that I think I look like based on comments that I've heard from other people, based on even things that I might have experienced in my childhood with however I look, um, then that's the thing that we need to sort of replace with that positive image that we ought to have of ourselves. The other thing is if our image is not just the face value. So our image is not doesn't just involve what's on the surface here. It doesn't just involve what you can see. Our image involves what you can't see. And a lot of times, um, the image that we project is based on the work that we need to do from the inside out. Because if we are constantly berating ourselves, if we are constantly pointing out what's negative about ourselves, if every time somebody gives us a compliment, we decide to say, no, uh, no, you know how we try to do, we have that sense of that sort of false humility that allows us to just cower down, to shrink, right? When we are called to be light. And so it's not being arrogant, it's not being cocky, If you say to yourself on a daily basis, I look like my creator, and therefore I am somebody because that's who my creator made me. If you can see past the comments that people made about you as you were growing up, if you can look beyond, and if you can understand that a lot of times when people made comments about you as a child, it is because they saw something in you that they wish they could have. Have you ever had somebody to just not like you? I mean, they don't even really know you, but they just don't like you. I know I have experienced that. I don't know if I've said this before here, but I had somebody that I worked with many, many, many years ago, who when I we became friends. We actually became good friends. I actually ended up being her son's godmother. But she told me after we became friends, she told me that when she first saw me, she didn't like me. Not when she first talked to me, not the conversation, nothing. No, when I first saw you, I didn't like you. Um, and so a lot of times people will project onto you what they wish they could be. Sometimes people will see in you what they wish that they wish that they had. And so rather than holding you up in any kind of light, it's easier to try to elevate themselves by pulling you down. But when we look in the mirror, it's important that we know that we look in the mirror through the right lens. And there are all kinds of lenses. Now, right now I have on I have on my readers, my reading glasses that helps me to be able to see things up close more clearly. Um if I pull out my these little plastic shades, um it's darker. And so right now I can't see the way that I was seeing before. If I put on these lenses, I can't see clearly like I can when I put on my prescription glasses. But the problem is that many of us very often choose to look through these all the time. Even when the sun is not shining, even when we're indoors, we put on lenses that cause us to not really be able to fully see who we are, not really be able to see our full potential. Instead, we look through these lenses that are the lens of the kids that teased you many, many years ago, that are the lens of the parent who put you down, the lens of the person who said, you're not ever going to be anybody, you're not ever going to be able to accomplish anything. So often, when we look in the mirror, we're looking in the mirror through these kinds of lenses. And when we do that, we neglect who we were truly created to be. And so we don't see that the plans that God has for us were plans to prosper us, plans to never harm us, but we see through a lens dimly. And sometimes we put on these dark glasses so that we don't have to see ourselves clearly. Sometimes we don't want to see ourselves clearly because when we see ourselves clearly, there is some stuff in us that we have to deal with. And so it's easier to put these on rather than to put on what helps us to see clear enough to deal with the stuff that we need to deal with in our lives. So I'm here tonight to encourage you to 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 put on the right lens to see yourself through. So here's an activity that I want us to do. Everybody, hopefully you got your mirror. Get your mirror right now. Get something to write with if you haven't already gotten it. And I want you to look at yourself. Just look at yourself in the mirror. Do it right now. Look at yourself in the mirror. What is the first thing that you notice? What's the very first thing you notice about yourself? Write it down. You don't have to put it in the chat. Or if you want to put it in the chat, you can. That would be great if it's something that you want to share. But what is the first thing you notice about yourself when you look at yourself? So that's the first thing. Now, was the first thing you noticed, was it something that you consider to be positive? Was it something that you consider to be negative? Put that in the chat if you don't mind. When you looked at yourself and the first thing that you noticed, was it something that was positive or was it something that was negative? Um, did it involve a physical feature that others can also see? And I'm seeing negative responses. That the first thing you saw was something negative. And I'm with you. Because like I said earlier, the first thing I see when I look in the mirror is this little skin tag, this one right here. Hey Rose, how you doing? Good to see you. Um, this little skin, this one right here is just really annoying to me, and it just I can't tell you how many times I've had people to come up to me and be like, "Oh, there's something on your face," and then occasionally I have somebody that'll get ready to go and like first of all, listen, this is an aside right here. Don't ever put your hands in nobody's face, okay? Especially if it's somebody that you don't really know like that. Like if it's not your boo or you know what I'm saying? If it's not somebody that you that you know, don't come up and put your hands in their face. Just don't do it, okay? That's a no. All right. Let's get back to the assignment. Um Rose says she's working with these saggy eyes. But listen, you might have saggy eyes, but can you see? Can you see out of your saggy eyes, Rose? So a lot of people are saying, are saying negative, that the first thing they see is something negative. And that is something that we have to intentionally work against. Um, and a lot of times we look at our physical features again as something that is a flaw. So we look at saggy eyes as a flaw, but somewhere in this world, there are people that literally don't have an eye. The pirate patch is not just a movie. Somebody said they have adult acne. Um, and that, yep, see, I'm with you because there's a little acne right there. I'm saying, "Wow, how I get in my mid-50s and have acne?" But we all have hormonal issues that can cause these kinds of things. And so we have to stop looking at the thing that is natural. More people in the world probably have deal with acne than not, right? More people are a 2-liter bottle size and not the old, y'all, I'm really dating myself. Not the old Coke bottle image, the brick house that the that they used to sing about, the Commodores. Um, most of us are normal sized. We don't look like Barbie, right? And so all of these, we have to realize that we are looking through the lens of society. We are looking through the lens of somebody else who created cultural norms that don't fit who God created us to be. So the culture The culture has us looking through these. The culture has us down on ourselves because we look different maybe than somebody who set these societal rules of what we should look like and who is the prettiest and who is the most handsome and you know who is the one that everybody wants on their arm. We go with all of these societal rules, but when we look through the glass clearly, when we see clearly, we again see that God created us fearfully and wonderfully. So we have to remind ourselves of that constantly. And so even the things that we view as flaws, sometimes things and situations are allowed to happen so that somebody else who might have that same flaw, you can be the one that can help them through it. You can be the one that can help them deal with what they think of themselves and help them push through to the other side and see the greatness that actually is who they are. So, through what lens are you looking at yourself? Who told you you had saggy eyes, Rose? Did somebody tell you that? Or is that something that you are telling yourself? Because I've seen you in person and you got beautiful eyes. Because I've seen those eyes many times. Whoo, child, during those years in seminary. We're not gonna go back. We're not going back to seminary. But whoo, those were some times. So think about that. Write that question down and think about this. Through what lens are you seeing yourself? And then why are you viewing yourself through that lens? What is it about that lens? What is drawing you to that particular lens through which you see yourself? Is the lens that you are seeing yourself through, is that the lens that you desire to view yourself through? Is that the lens that's the best lens for you to see yourself through? What will it take to trade in your old lens for newer, healthier ones? What is it going to take for you to trade in that old lens that you see yourself through, that lens that's not serving you well, that lens that's making you think negatively of yourself, that lens that's making you see all of your flaws and not see the beauty in even in your flaws? Somebody used the statement, I am perfectly imperfect. The only perfect one to walk this earth is Jesus. And if your name ain't Jesus, I'm not talking about if your name Jesus. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if your name, I don't know why I'm being so silly tonight. But if your name is not Jesus, then you're not perfect. You are perfectly imperfect. You were made in the image that you were supposed to be made in. You were made intentionally. You are one of one. I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. Beyonce wasn't the first one to come up with that. You know who was the first one to come up with that? I'm one of one. You're one of one is our creator. Our creator said, you are one of one. And so this is what I want you to do. I want you to do this right now. I want you to pick up that mirror. I want you to look at yourself in the mirror and I want you to call your name and say, whatever your name is, you are one of one. Benita, you are one of one. I want you to say that. Look at yourself in the mirror. Say, you are one of one. There will never ever be, there has never been a you before you were born. There will never be another one of you afterward. And what God put in you, he put in you intentionally just for you. So stop looking through the lens that will put you down. Stop looking through the dark lens. Look through the lens that is clear. And so one of the things that I wanted to bring out here is that now there's a thing that's called eye lens replacement surgery. And that is for people maybe that have cataract, um, or I can't remember the other condition, but there are two conditions for which eye lens replacement surgery is used. And it is an outpatient surgery in which an ophthalmologist removes your eye's natural lens and implants an intraocular lens in its place to improve your vision. Your natural lens is a clear structure located behind your pupil. Your lens helps focus light as it enters your eye so it lands properly on your retina, allowing you to see the world around you. And so, what is it going to take for you to do lens replacement therapy on yourself? I'm not talking about the physical lens replacement therapy, but when we look through a lens that is not working, that doesn't allow the light to come in so that we can see the world clearly, so that we can see clearly who we are, who we were created to be, we need surgery. We need to replace that lens with a new one that allows the light to come in and show us the beautiful creation that we are. Are y'all hearing me? Is this making sense? Are y'all hearing me tonight? I hope you're hearing me tonight, and I hope that you will put these things that I'm talking about into practice. I hope that it is helpful to you. I hope that you will see a little bit more clearly as you do the work. But the surgery is work because whenever you're getting ready for surgery, there's that pre-op phase, right? You can't just hop into surgery. You There's some things that you normally have to do before doing the surgery to prepare yourself for it. And sometimes when we look at ourselves, when we look in our eyes, when we look in the depths of our soul, we're going to see some things that's going to bring tears to our eyes. We're going to see some things that we don't like. We're going to see some things, and some of the things that we see we don't like actually are there and are things that we need to change, are things that we need to cut out. But in this surgery, when the old thing that's not no longer working is cut out, it's not just cut out and left. It's cut out and it's replaced with something new that allows you to see clearer. Even in any other kind of surgery, there's surgery that things are cut out and they're cut away and they have to just stay gone. And then in other surgeries there are things that they use to sort of replace the thing that has been cut out, that makes life a little better for you. And so in this lens replacement surgery, um you have to intentionally remove what has become our natural way of seeing and replace it with a new lens that allows us to have clearer vision of ourselves, clearer vision of who we truly are. And so, what is your old lens? That's not, right? What is your old lens? What are you really seeing yourself through, right? What is it? What do you want the new one to be? And what surgical tools will you use to complete the surgery? Every surgery requires tools, and the tools have to be sanitized, right? You can't take dirty tools and do surgery. Why? Because it's going to cause infection in the place that is being that where the surgery is occurring. And so when they do surgery, they have to go through an entire process of making sure that the tools that they use are sanitized so that when they do the surgery, it won't have mess from a previous surgery getting in your system and infecting the whole body. It's the same thing. When you choose the tools that we use have to be sanitized. They need to go through a process that is not going to allow you to be infected with mess. And so, what are some surgical tools you might use? Somebody might use scripture as your surgical tool. Scripture that is going to show you who you really are and who you were really created to be. Somebody else might use self affirmations, right? When you use self affirmations, you have to be intentional about affirming yourself every single day. You can't just, it's not a one and done. Sometimes you have to come back for repeat surgery. And so you have to come back and put that balm on your surgery, that thing that causes the surgical incision to heal. Declarations. Somebody said declarations. Very good. Declarations. Declaring yourself in what God has for you. Um, Self determination. You have to be determined that you are ready to do the surgery to see yourself through a new lens, through a clearer lens. Somebody said encouraging, right? Encouraging yourself, intentionality, self love, therapy, all of those things um, are things that you can use as your surgical tools. But you have to be intentional about it. And I know y'all might get sick of me using that word, but that's always my word. And my word additional in addition to that is consistency. And so after you when somebody performs, when you get a surgery, you have the pre-op phase where you have to prepare yourself for it. You got the phase where the surgery is actually done, and then there's follow-up where they check you and they make sure that everything went well with the surgery, and they make sure that you're on the right path to complete healing. And so I want to encourage you all today to be on the path to complete healing. Is there anyone out there that needs that surgery? Do you need to change the lens that you're seeing yourself through? Because the fact of the matter is, it's not the mirror. It's not the mirror that makes the difference. It's not the mirror that you look into, because the mirror is going to show you only what is being reflected. but the lens can change how you see the reflection. And the lens is not this physical lens. It's not these physical glasses. It's not even the physical lens in your eye. It's the lens in your mind. This helping anybody tonight? This is the only reason that I do Mind the Mental Monday, really, is to try to help somebody to get to a better, more stable state of mind, because this world around us can cause us to see dimly. There is a world out there, there is an enemy out there that wants to dim our light. And when your lens is in disrepair, the light can't come through the way it needs to for us to see our our vision more clearly. Whew. All right, let's take some deep breaths. Whew. I hope that you all know that these exercises, whenever I come and I have some kind of exercise, don't think that I haven't tested it on myself first. So, if it causes you to go a little deeper than you might have anticipated or may have desired, I'm sorry, not sorry. So, I'm doing the work too, right? We're doing the work together. So, in doing the Mental Mondays, and for you to show up um, every Monday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time and hang out with me, or me and a guest, whatever the case might be, um, it it really helps. Um, it helps me too. Okay, the I'm seeing that my video is going in and out. I'm sorry about that. This is on Instagram. I'm not showing a bad connection or anything, so I'm not sure why that's the case. So I'm sorry about that. Hopefully this is the end, so I hope that you got the message. It will be on Facebook. It will be on my YouTube channel. Please go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is at Benita Weathers 329. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can see all the Mind the Mental Mondays there. I didn't get the one before the holidays, the one with my son. I did not have an opportunity to put that one up yet, but it is coming. Okay, you can see it on Facebook. It's on Facebook. You can go back to my Facebook page and see it. But if you missed it, you can go there, but it will be on my YouTube channel as well. I forgot to record it, so I have to download it and put it up, and so it'll get there. Also, I am a certified life coach. If there are things that you feel like you want to work on, if there are things that you see in Mind the Mental Monday that you feel like you could use some one-on-one um, coaching, feel free to reach out to me. You can message me on my page, whether it's Facebook or Instagram. You can go to my website, benitaweathers.com, and you can see all the information there about who I am. As I like to always give the caveat, now I am not a licensed mental health practitioner. I have resources that can be helpful to you. I my background is in health behavior and health education. I do have a background in chaplaincy and ministry, and so I do have those skills that I can share with you as a life coach. But feel free to reach out to me, and if you want a 30-minute free consultation, reach out to me and we can schedule that. And I hope to hear from you all. Join me again next Monday, right here on either IG or Facebook Live. And I'm just gonna be very honest. I'm not really sure what the topic is gonna be next week, but the Lord will speak to me throughout the week and let me know what the topic will be, but I know it's gonna be something good. So make sure you put it in your calendar weekly so that you can tune in. And again, if you miss it live, you will have the live. You can tune in to the live. You can tune in to the recording. I'm sorry, on YouTube or on Facebook. Hey, James, my son, I see joined in. So definitely want to check out his episode, and also my girls too. They were on the weeks prior to him, prior to the holidays. I hope you all had a great holiday, and I hope that um, I hope that you're off to a great start to your new year. I want you to be encouraged. I want you to look through the clear lens and see the beautiful human being that you were created to be. God bless you and have a great evening. See you next week. Bye.